We are sitting here with a hardcore legend, a former CZW world champion,
Yes.
wrestler, promoter, teacher, great advice giver from what I've talked to some of your students. Ladies and gentlemen, Matt Tremont.
Appreciate it.
So the beginning of your career, like you wrestled for a few years at the Indies, you know, in the South Jersey, North Jersey area, but right away, kind of no rest for the wicked. A couple years into your career, you're in the ring with Necro Butcher, Masada, the great Danny Havoc. Can you tell us some stories about some of those guys and what it was like at such a young age to be in the ring with them?
I mean, so when I got to CZW, they threw me into a pack of wolves. So because I was green, like you said, a couple years in, and at the time there was no one really coming up in the scene that was fresh and new. So I was the guinea pig. I was getting fed the Necro, Masada, Danny Havoc, Brain Damage, all the legends in the deathmatch scene, and the blessing of that was you only get better when you work people that are better than you. So I learned very quickly, learned how to be good and be safe and take care of each other in these crazy wild death matches. So working with them, really molded me early on to become who I am today.
You see Necro Butcher like out of the ring when he puts his glasses on. He looks like he could be teaching a college university.
Yeah.
What's it like hanging out with Necro Butcher?
Very smart dude. Yeah, like you said, once he put the glasses on, loves his baseball. I mean, everywhere he traveled, he used to bring a PlayStation 2 with him and hook it up wherever he was and plays baseball game. Very, very kind person, as tough as nails he is in the ring. Very giving in the ring. He was one of the first people that gave me a big break in the business, because I think my second or third CZW show was against Necro at Tournament of Death, put me over in the first round, and him giving back to the business, giving back to me, like, hey, let me give this kid a shot. Let me, help him look good in the ring, put him over, and then, see what he's going to do later.
If a guy like Raven brought such art and darkness to the hardcore wrestling world, Masada took it to a whole new level. What was it like working with him?
Masada's not an easy day at the office. He's going to put you to work, especially, again, me being, green early on. Let me test this kid. Let me see how bad he wants it. I remember the first match we had wasn't so good. It was the second round at TOD. I was blown up and wasn't ready to go, and he, whooped my ass. And I wound up working him 3 months later at King of the Death matches. So in that 3 months, I wanted to make sure, I was more prepared and had a good match. Well, we wound up having a very good match, and I had a lot of really good matches, overall later during the years. But definitely will test you and see how bad you wanted this. But another one, great dude, and another one that would put me over early on and help me, give me breaks to get where I'm at today.
And of course, we have to ask about the great Danny Havoc. What was it like to be in the ring with him?
Grant was the best in and outside of the ring. He was, only like a year older than me, but he was like my big brother. And, pretty much from day one at CZW, took me under his wing, teach me how to, wrestle and implement the violence and tell good stories with deathmatch wrestling. And I wrestled him in, 2011 at Carnage Cup. And this was before I even got into CZW. And because of that match at Carnage Cup that we had, he spoke up. Brett Lauderdale was the referee for that match. He spoke up, and a few others, and that pretty much, they got me my dream job at CZW at the time.
That's awesome. That's a great ring picture there, you two, and the future promoter of GCW. I guess your biggest feud maybe in CZW was with CZW's DJ Hyde.
Yes.
And that leads into you also tagging with New Jack. Holy shit. So you get to tag with New Jack. You have this crazy, incredible feud with DJ Hyde. First off, what about the feud with DJ Hyde? How was that, and how did that get you to the next level?
That feud pretty much, made me a made man in the eyes of the fans. It was a year-long build. We had 3 matches over that time that were brutal and all, building up to the Cage of Death that year. So, I was a made man in the eyes of the fans. They knew I would go to lengths and do brutal, crazy bleed and all the things that they love to see. So that made me at CZW. So anything after that was.
So
cherry
if
on
you're a
top.
made guy with the fans, and then you're a made guy in the back, and a guy like New Jack, he ain't gonna tag with just anybody.
100%.
What's it like to now hardcore legend and future hardcore legend teaming together? What would you learn from a guy like New Jack?
Jack was the best. Obviously, like we all have, all grew up watching ECW, so like at the end of the day, that's the best stuff. And that's what I grew up on. So
You got to play Mustafa for the night.
pretty much,
Yeah,
yeah.
I
I got to throw the X's up with Jack. He made the save. We got the tag. I worked with Jack a bunch, over the years, and he was the best.
And if you didn't think the CZW career could get any better, 2015, you defeat Black G's for the World Heavyweight title. I still am a big Black G's fan, huge fan of yours. This was a mixed emotions match for me. What was that night like?
I remember probably a week out getting the phone call that they were going to put the title on me. And at the time, 2015, I was really hitting my stride. And I remember, me and G's had a few matches up to that point, and he really went to bat for me to put the title on me. And so did a guy named Rob Dimension that was working with the company at the time. So when they wanted to put the strap on me, I always looked at it as the old territory days. The company and the promoter, they're putting a lot of stock into me to represent the company and be the champ and, be the flag bearer at CZW. So I looked at it as the old, I was the NWA champ. I was the CZW champ. So it meant the world at the time.
I bet.
It was crazy.
Any fun celebration that night, after you took the gold home?
I don't think, I think.
You always hear these stories, like Jericho got locked out of his hotel room with 2 pizzas. Nobody has a great night. We talked to Melina a couple weeks ago. She was like, oh, when I won the championship, I just went home. Nothing.
Pretty much.
You guys are so tired.
I was always make sure I was the first one to show up, last one to leave. So literally after that show, I'm sweeping up and helping tear down the ring, and then me and the wife probably got some food and went home.
That's why he's our guy. Now, if you didn't think New Jack could be the ultimate tag team partner, you tagged with Onita and you wrestled Onita.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. I mean, the guy is probably one of the biggest legends on 2 continents, and he's like a congressman over there and a deathmatch wrestler / promoter, kind of like yourself.
Yeah. He's like you said, he's the pioneer. Tagging with him at the arena was pretty surreal. Going over to Japan with him, getting blown up in explosions, getting lit on fire and blown up over here. Another instance, I've always had good luck with the legends over the years, just always, kind of gravitated towards each other. I'm very old school at heart and mentality, so I think we meshed well. And he did a lot for my career. That was working with him got me to another level in the eyes of the fans. I owe Onita a lot to this day, and he was always great to work with.
And then 2020, the greatest city in the world, New York City, GCW, the Hammerstein Ballroom. That music hits. Here we stand, worlds apart. I mean, that place is going bananas. It is reminiscent of when Hogan comes out. You and Nick Gage, who was your tag team partner that night, are the last 2 of the OGs of GCW. Now, pretty much just you. You take on the Briscoes that night. Now, when it comes to wrestling fans in this area and wrestlers, I guess, in this area, it doesn't get better than those 4. What was that experience like?
First time working with the Briscoes. Gage is my idol at the end of the day. He's why I went to CZW shows at the arena and
Murder, death, kill.
all day. 2002, I would save up my money, get a ride to Philly and go to dub shows because of Nick Gage. So tagging with my idol against the Briscoes in the Hammerstein for the first time in the main event. I didn't even know that match was happening until the day before. And they snuck all 4 of us into the building early that day. And I really didn't even know what was going on until the Briscoes walked in.
You'll see me. I'm sitting second row that night, and I am just a little kid when you come out. It's a tremendous experience. Greatest city in the world. They couldn't have put you guys on a better stage. I wonder if anyone's ever pointed this out before. He comes out to Metallica. You come out to the separate ways.
Yeah.
2 San Francisco bands, the Bay Area Bombers, right
Yeah,
there.
I didn't know that.
Well, it was always a pleasure
yeah.
being around you, talking with you. Thank you for giving us a couple minutes, and I just really appreciate everything you're doing. You've helped so many pro wrestlers in this area that we love, and you're going to continue to do that for years to come, whether it's here or elsewhere. And I'm just, the wrestling world is thankful for that, and I just hope you know that.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, bud.
Thanks,
Appreciate
man.
that.
No problem.